Hello you guys, welcome back to the Peace, Love, and Happiness Club YouTube channel. You guys really seem to enjoy our living wall update, so I figured I would give you guys a tour of the entire store. I don't know how we haven't done this yet. I am super happy with the way our store is looking right now. Come on in. All right, so immediately to your right when you walk in, this room probably looks familiar to you guys. This is sort of our showroom where we really showcase a lot of our higher end plants in our IKEA cabinet. It's where our living wall is. Oftentimes you'll find Neil hanging out here in one of these chairs, talking with customers, next to our blooming table that is just overflowing with beautiful Mandula, Heterasium, some Maranta in there. It's looking really great up here. We won't spend too much time in this room. If you guys want a little closer look at everything that we've got going on, you're gonna wanna check out our living wall video that we just posted last week. But moving this way is where all of our plants are for sale. Here we have sort of our first display. We've got our beautiful Themattophyllum sprucianum Fun Bun. When me and John found this at our supplier, we just knew we had to have it. It fills out this space so beautifully. I don't know if we'll ever sell it, but I am happy to keep this plant around. Surrounding that Themattophyllum, we've got all of these beautiful Phalaenopsis, and we've been able to partner with a really great supplier that's been able to get us some really fun varieties. And of course, they're all styled in our Peace, Love, and Happiness Club embossed planter. If you guys haven't checked these out, I highly recommend them. We've all been obsessed with them here lately. We've got some pop of color from our Ficus Shiveriana, which I think works really well. All along this wall is all of our sale stuff. Lots of rehab plants for our people that are a little bit more local that can get these plants back to being happy and healthy. These guys are all 30% off right now. So we've got these Philodendron Nangara tents. These guys are sporting a little bit of cosmetic damage, but have some really great roots going too. This is kind of where we keep stuff that likes to be a little bit drier, stuff that likes a little bit more light. So you'll find variegated string of hearts. We've got these Cissus quadrangularis, which are a little bit of an uncommon one. These beautiful dragon fruit, and check out all of these lithops. These are one that I've been really liking lately. We've got the Peperomia prostrata. Of course, you can't go wrong with the string of turtles. We've got the watermelon Peperomia. And then we've also got some really cute Dischidia that we just brought in last week. These guys would be perfect to toss in a little terrarium. Moving along this way, this is where we keep all of our pothos. Panatum albo here. Then we've got the skeleton key here. These guys are super overgrown. Might be time to chop these back. We've got the Baltic blue that everybody knows and loves, fenestrating beautifully. These Epiprenum Gigantium. Check out the size of those leaves, you guys. These are insane. Now this came from our mother plant in the back that actually broke while we were sort of rearranging our grow room. These have been super rewarding to propagate. We just did, woo! Guys.
Cocoa puffs everywhere.
Everywhere. One that we just did a restock on are these Epiprenum Shangri-La. You get really fun wrinkled foliage on these guys and really easy care. You can see in brighter light, they become really shriveled. Down below, we've got the Epiprenum and Plissimum. These are actually reverted Aurea ones. However, they are still beautiful in their green form. Variegated neon pothos, one that you don't come by all that often. Down below, this is another one that we've been loving here lately, and that is the Jade Skindapsis, serving the leather fantasy with those really dark leathery leaves. Speaking of Skindapsis, that brings us to our next rack here where we keep all of our Skindapsis. So here you're looking at some silver clouds, some Skindapsis tattoo, Skindapsis lucens. I have been loving Skindapsis lucens lately. I feel like the camera doesn't quite do it justice. You guys should definitely try and see one of these in person. They're so extraterrestrial and really unlike any plant that I've seen. Like the closest thing I could compare it to would be like an Alocasia cuprea, but even then the finish on these leaves is really something else. Moving down, we've got Skindapsis Silver Hero, one of my personal favorites. Got quite a few of these guys going right now. Oh, and then these are looking so good right now too. Skindapsis trebui dark form. So you don't get that silver variegation like you get on the Skindapsis pictus. These leaves are a little bit more narrow and elongated, but their really dark foliage is just absolutely everything. I love seeing these begonia in hanging baskets like this because it allows them to sort of creep out and create a really unique display. More entry-level plants, one that everybody knows and loves these days, the Tradescantia nanook. That purpley color becomes a lot more pronounced in bright light, but these guys are really easy to grow and one that I find more entry-level customers reaching for quite often, so we like to keep quite a few available here. Variegated Silla Montana. This is also a Tradescantia, but their fuzzy leaves are really, really unique, and then with that variegation, really a showstopper. All right, another one that we always have in stock here and at our houseplant store are the Begonia maculata whitei. If you guys watched our living wall video, you'll see that these guys grow vertically so beautifully. We've got the Begonia ferox, commonly confused with the Begonia melanobulata. The ferox produces the little bumps on their leaves a little bit later on in their lifespan, whereas the melanobulata has these little bumps a bit earlier on. Begonia solimutata. This is a really fun one that likes a little bit brighter light. And then their blooms are so adorable. Moving along here, we've got one of my favorite sections, and that is all of our Dojo Pottery. These guys come in a couple different sizes and quite a few different colors, but I find this wall so satisfying to look at. Our Hoya have been popping off with new growth in this warmth. So here you'll see Hoya Sunrise, and then we've also got the Hoya Parasitica Black Margin, a little bit of a newer one on the market. We have these guys priced really well too. Like, I picked up a pot that was, I think it was like a 3-inch pot for 38 bucks just a couple months ago. We've got these beautiful 6-inch pots priced at just 68 right now. A really easy plant to grow. And then the Parasitica produces like a little cream colored flower that's like not too fragrant, but definitely a fun one to watch bloom. These ones I love keeping here at our store. I have yet to pick one up myself, but I definitely need to. The Hoya Cunningham. These guys produce little yellow flowers that are so adorable, and they grow like crazy. I would argue this is probably like one of, if not the quickest growing Hoya that we sell here at Peace, Love, and Happiness Club. The Hoya Lakinosa Bella. This is one that I've been having a lot of fun with mounting on cork. If you guys watched our cork mounting video, you'll see I made a little arrangement with Phalaenopsis and a little Hoya Bella. Down here, I propagated these myself. This is the Philodendron adipoense. We've got some rooted cuttings here in sphagnum moss. You can see they're really well rooted. These ones are a great alternative to something like a Philodendron bilete or perhaps a Spiritus sancti. You get those really beautiful elongated leaves that are lobed similar to the Spiritus. The variegated Raindrop Peperomia, you don't see these too often. We've got just 2 of these in right now that we got from a good friend of ours, and I'm hoping it's one that we'll be able to keep in stock over time. But right now we've just got 2 of them. Everybody has been obsessed with sensitive plants lately, and so we've got so many of these biophytum in. These ones we actually did import, and when I saw them on the invoice and saw that they were going to be shipped in, I was a little bit nervous. I was expecting the worst, because if you guys have kept one of these, you know that they're a little bit temperamental, but they shipped so well. They rooted up so quickly, and they are just thriving here under our little humidity domes. This way, this is kind of like an assorted rack. We've got a lot going on here. So this top shelf is a lot of Codex plants. So we've got the Stephania erecta in a couple different sizes. We've got this no ID Syningia with some really beautiful fuzzy leaves. And then we've also got the Amorphophallus. A lot of these guys look like they're about to bloom. Interesting to see and smell here in the store, but I'm excited to watch it happen. Down below that, we keep a lot of our Alocasia. So we've got the Alocasia Syrian, we've got the Alocasia Bambino, a lot of your Alocasia basics we've got over here. Oh, we've got the Ficus Shiveriana. You guys, if you haven't picked one of these up, I highly recommend checking them out. This is another one that we imported that I really expected to have some issues with in getting them acclimated, but these guys have been doing so well for us. You can see they're all pushing out new growth with that beautiful sort of dusty pink, and then they harden off to that more lime creamy green there. Over here is a lot of our Peace, Love, and Happiness Club signatures, I would say. So we've got the Variegated Heterasium in a number of different sizes. These guys are another one that I've been loving the extra heat and humidity that this summer has brought us. So they're just exploding with growth. We've got the Cream Splash as well. Quite a wide selection of Philodendron Pink Princess in right now as well. These guys are all sporting some really nice pink variegation. So we've got them in both 4-inch pots as well as 2.5-inch pots. It's a mouthful, but the Apobolus acutissima Laviel Red Sword. These guys were really hard to come by just a couple months ago, but we were able to get our hands on a couple of them to offer you guys. They can be a little bit more finicky in their care, but with that beautiful foliage, I would say it's definitely worth the higher maintenance that these guys come with. One of my favorite Monstera here, and that is the Standeliana albo. Such a rewarding plant to grow. Once you get it established, they're really quite quick and love to climb. And then just beyond that is the Variegated Peru. We have been cranking these out left and right lately. This is once again one that has been loving this summer heat. These guys were all single leaf when we put them out, but you can see they've all started to put out some new growth since they've been out here on our sales floor. Another basic that we like to keep in here for those that maybe are drawn to the Variegated Heterasium but don't necessarily want to spend Variegated Heterasium money. We've got the Lemon Lime Cordatum as a good alternative. These are all tangled together. These beautiful Monstera siltepecana. These are super lush and full pots. I am super happy with how these are growing out too. Then we've got the Monstera acuminata, similar to the Adansonii, but the fenestrations are a bit different as it matures. So we've got quite a few of these guys in right now. And then commonly confused with the Monstera Peru is the Monstera Panada partita. These guys are a really fun one to grow as well. As they mature, they fenestrate so beautifully. But we've got these little starts here for just 18 bucks. Oh yeah, these I'm so happy to have back on our sales floor, and that is Monstera subpanada. I started these guys from nodes, and I'm a little bit emotionally attached to all of them. I've been keeping a close eye on them as they grow out, and I am so happy to finally be seeing these little palm-like leaves. I do always warn people they like to send out runners if they're not getting enough bright light. So definitely give it lots of bright light and a vertical structure to climb. Syngonium Starlight with these really adorable smaller leaves. Syngonium propagate like no other. I'm telling you, you could stick a cutting in water and within like 2 to 3 days, you would start to notice really good roots. And then chopping back your Syngonium also promotes some bushier growth on them as well. So these are a really fun one to grow. Down here, we have some more basics that we like to offer for people that aren't quite looking to spend collector plant money. So we've got some Aglaonema and some Dieffenbachia here. These guys are perfect for the entry-level plant collector. Really low maintenance on them, tolerant of some lower light, and pretty drought tolerant as well. Can work our way over to some more collector plants. Over here we've got a lot of really fun vining varieties like the Monstera Indonesian Mint. Got a nice full tray of them over here, as well as the Philodendron Micans Halo. Cute little leaves with stripes of variegation around the leaf margin there. We also like to keep things that like a little bit more humidity over in this section, which is why you'll find our Antherium Viderifolium here. If you guys are a regular viewer of our social media, you might know that I am obsessed with Philodendron Florida Bronze. These ones are pretty hard to come by these days, but they're really easy to grow, and I find their foliage to be so beautiful. I absolutely love that deep red petiole of the leaf, and then the new leaves emerge sort of a bronzy color like the name suggests before it hardens off to this more green color. So we keep a lot of our Antherium over here. We've got some really spectacular dark form Forgetii, as well as the Antherium Pinkley. I have been loving these for their really funky leaf shape lately. Antherium Regal, check these out. I am obsessed with this shipment that we recently got in. We've got these guys here in 4-inch pots, but the size of the leaves is absolutely everything. Of course, we have to have Antherium Veitchii, the King Antherium. Then next to that, we've got Philodendron luxurians. We've got, let's see, some more Forgetii dark form. And then who is this guy? This leaf is absolutely massive. Antherium crystallinum. Check that guy out. Crazy. Here we have Antherium Magnificum dark form in 4-inch pots. These are another really great sort of entry-level Antherium. I find that they're not so finicky with humidity, but you still get those really large leaves that we all know and love Antherium for. Squamiferum, variegated burl marks. Let's see, what else? Oh, all of these Philodendron, Yopii, whatever you want to call them. These guys are looking spectacular. We brought them in as little tissue culture plants, and they established themselves quite quickly. And I am so excited that these guys are only priced at $118. A while back, these were really hard to come by and really expensive plants. We've got some more harder to find collector plants like the Jose Buono. We've got Philodendron Florida Ghost Mint. This is the true Philodendron Florida Ghost Mint. So rather than the leaves hardening off fully to that dark green, they stay a little bit mintier like you see here. We just brought in a bunch of these Monstera Thai Constellation that are all so adorable, and several of them have little pups as well, which is super cool to see. It's one of the fun parts about growing tissue culture plants. Up top here, we've got a lot of our Queen Antherium right next to the humidifier to try and keep them as happy and healthy as possible. Of course, these guys are a little bit finicky. Moving this way, we've got another one of our center displays here where we like to keep some more eye-catching foliage like this massive Antherium Veitchii. We've also got a little variegated Zebrina, or maybe not variegated anymore. So we've got our variegated Zebrina here, absolutely loving its life under these Soltech Solutions lights. Let me tell you guys, these Soltech lights have made all the difference on our displays here. On our living wall, on this center area, and then for our big Cebu Blue over there, they have all really taken off since we installed the lights. So captivated by lately, and that is the Antherium Gigantium. These guys stay a little bit smaller, and we actually learned that they are an endangered plant. So these were sourced ethically. They were grown out in Ecuador from a grower that we know very well, but sort of a fun little story. These guys are actually endangered. I will be sad for the day that this guy gets bought, but the Antherium luxurians, this is the true luxurians, so not a cross between the radicans, which is a little bit more readily available. When we first put this guy out, it was just these 3 lower leaves, so getting to watch these 2 massive leaves emerge and then also watching it bloom has really been a treat. We've also got a fun display going here of lots of Antherium pendants hanging from our ceiling. A really unique way to display a sort of elongated leafed plant. We have to talk about this incredible Cebu Blue. You guys, this is the Cebu Blue of your dreams, living its best life here under the Soltech light, like I mentioned. It came to us on a wood stake here, but it quickly outgrew it, so we actually installed a wood plank here into our wall to allow it to grow up. And you can see that it's starting to root itself onto there quite nicely, growing how it would in the wild. I absolutely love the way this wall is looking right now. So we've got our whole Bloom City line of
Shout out to Miranda.
Shout out to Miranda. She did a killer job on making this all look so, so good. Got houseplant superfood, living soil, that root stimulator that I've been telling you guys about. And then the star of the show on this wall right now are all of our modular 3D printed Plantly moss poles. We've got all different shapes and sizes for any application you could ever need. So to the left of our supply wall, you will find our cash desk. So when you're all done picking out your collector plants, this is where you come to check out. We've got a couple little displays going up here right now, like this terrarium that I actually made myself. As well as a little display of our Plantly moss pole. You can see we've got our Indonesian mint here rooting itself up on this Plantly moss stake. And then moving this way, we've got some terrarium stuff going on. We just brought in these little spotlights that I think are so adorable. If you're somebody that's working with a little bit of a smaller space or somewhere that doesn't get so much light, this is the perfect little addition, perfect for a desktop or smaller space to keep your plant alive. So we've just got this little jewel orchid going in a terrarium there. Moving down this way, we've got another little spotlight that we just brought in. This one's a little bit bigger, but we've got a beautiful terrarium built by Aaron with some crystals next to it as well. And then of course, we're always talking about our YouTube channel, so we've got a constant feed of our YouTube videos here playing in the store. Now this is just half of what we've got going on here in this building. I showed you guys the retail end, but you guys will have to stay tuned for the grow end of our space here. There's a whole lot going on in the back as well that I'm super excited to share with you guys in another video. But make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.